Imagine a world where robots enslave humans, or a world where aliens invade the Earth on a mission to destroy the entire human race. Or what if one day AI takes over us and enslaves humans? We've all certainly imagined such scenarios in our lives, or seen a movie or series. One such movie that explores this theme is Virus. Virus is a cult classic among the fans of cyberpunk horror. The movie's based on the comic of the same name and showcases how an alien sort of energy takes over the form of a biomechanoid to destroy humanity. Though the movie was a total commercial failure, it's still famous for its VFX and compelling storytelling among the fans. Today, let's explore the movie, the Biomechanoids, and their powers, abilities, and more. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Recognize me. What's wrong?
The intelligence's origins, the virus that thinks. The movie begins with a Russian research ship called Vladislav Volkov and their space station Mir in space. A band of colorful energy hits the Mir, and through their satellite connection to the ship, the surge takes over control of the electronics of the ship. The energy is known as the intelligence and downloads itself into the computers of the research ship. It starts killing the crew, but they shut down the power supply as it takes energy from it. As a result, the intelligence also shuts down. When 7 days later, an American cargo ship called Sea Star gets caught in a hurricane, the crew goes to the eye of the storm to make repairs to the ship. They locate the Russian research ship on radar and find it in hopes of getting rescued. The crew enters the abandoned ship and thinks of claiming it. And for that, they restart the ship's system by turning on the power supply. However, that reawakens the intelligence, which then begins attacking the crew. The crew has a captain, Robert Everton, an engineer, Steve Baker, ex-military officer Kelly Foster, and others. The intelligence's motive was to bring the ship to the shore and infect as many humans as possible to create an army of biomechanoid slaves. The intelligence is an invisible sort of energy, which inserts itself into electronic and mechanical systems to control them. The intelligence uses whatever machinery is available to create the biomechanoids. If that isn't enough, it also preys upon human beings, often emptying their insides and replacing them with machines. Biomechanoid designs. Horror in every shape. In the comics, these biomechanoids are attached via cables directly to the ship's main power grid. However, in the movie, the creatures roam free as they are not restricted to cables. The biomechanoid has various sizes and shapes, depending primarily on the machine's shape, the components used, or the purpose. They can also take on the form of robotic insects, like the spiders seen in the movie. Humanoids are formed when they hollow out the human body and replace it with mechanical components. Sometimes it also carved the bodies of humans and used the flesh and bones to create biomechanical drones. Other biomechanoids appear as aliens, like the Goliath, which is the most powerful biomechanoid and houses the core intelligence itself. Powers and abilities. Flesh, metal, and domination. The intelligence is a powerful extraterrestrial entity that can control any form of electronic and mechanical thing to use and produce biomechanoids to use against the enemy. It can control the human brain, extract data and information to use it against them, and also enslave them. In the movie, the intelligence takes over Alexei and uses him as the humanoid or biomechanoid to attack the crew. The captain of the Sea Star was also transformed into a biomechanoid drone to attack others. Another crew member named Squeaky was transformed into a zombie-like cyborg. As the intelligence is sort of like a virus, it learns everything by reading all the data present on the computers and the memory bank of the ship. It spread itself into the mechanics of the ship and created various biomechanoids and robots to fulfill various functions. It even used the body parts of the dead to create new biomechanoids. To spread its influence, it needed to get to the shore or any human settlement to access more machines and humans to destroy them. The intelligence's powers can be seen more as when it took over the ship and read all the data. It quickly analyzed everything, and when the ship got stuck in a hurricane, it began moving on as the mechanics were controlled by the intelligence, and thus tried to get out of the hurricane safely. This shows that the intelligence also gained the knowledge of the ship and mastered all the land-based and sea-based machinery machinery and electronics and harbored all that knowledge to wipe out the entire human race. The intelligence also has the great ability to think and create anything, as it can be seen assimilating whatever machinery and electronics with human body parts to make a unique biomechanoid, hence using both organic and inorganic matter to create them. For example, when it left Squeaky's entire body the same, but replaced his right eye with a camera-like machinery for surveillance.
Squeak? Hey, Squeaky. Squeak man. Hey, you?
The connection to humanity, spare parts philosophy. To enslave humanity, the intelligence goes to various lengths. The intelligence sees humans as mere materials to create humanoids or biomechanoids to achieve the horrific goal of human enslavement. The intelligence regarded the crew as spare parts and used their bodies to construct biomechanical drones. It did this in two ways. Either it would use the body parts of the dead and carve out their bones and flesh to create new biomechanoids, or it would hollow out the insides and put machines and electronics accordingly to create humanoids. By using humans, it created various robotic units to kill the crew.
Richie, let's go. Hey, did the other one bother you?
Key biomechanoids, monsters in the machine. Let us look at various notable biomechanoids. Dragonfly. The dragonfly biomechanoid has long limbs which have needles at the end which they use to stab the victims. Crab. This biomechanoid looked like a crab, with molten human flesh covering its machines and eye stalks which resemble real human eyes. Tank. The tank has the upper body of a humanoid and the lower half of a tank. They can punch through the human torso, killing them in one go. Beetle. This insectoid biomechanoid possessed wings made from human skin and had a nail gun. Botfly, a fly-like biomechanoid who spied on the Sea Star crew by hiding in dark corners. Alexei. Alexei was the captain of the Russian research ship. The intelligence killed him and hollowed his body to replace the organs with machines. Squeaky. Squeaky was one of the crewmates at Sea Star. He became a zombie-like cyborg after being attacked by a spider biomechanoid. His body was human, while his right eye was replaced by a camera-like device. Robert Everton. Everton was the captain of the Sea Star. He was a drunken lunatic who had lost his uninsured cargo and thus thought of claiming the Vladislav Volkov and selling it. He offered himself to the intelligence for transformation with his human emotions and intelligence. He betrayed his crew for the powers he would get after being transformed into the humanoid. Goliath. Goliath was the most powerful biomechanoid as it houses the intelligence. It appears alien and was constructed with the ship's core computer. Though a lot of these were only featured in the comics, the intelligence did build a strong base of the biomechanoids and humanoids in the movie. The sacrifice. Victory at a cost. When the crew reawakened the intelligence and other monsters, they were attacked by several cyborgs. The ship's workshop, which was filled with high-tech machinery and electronics, began to move on its own and created many biomechanoids. The spider biomechanoid killed one of the crew, namely Squeaky, and his body was transformed into a human biomechanoid. One of the crew of the Vladislav Volkov and the wife of Alexei was the sole survivor and helped the crew understand what was happening. She told them to turn off the power supply to stop the biomechanoids from working. Nadia realizes that the intelligence wants to control the British intelligence station, which can be used to take control of the world's military forces. The only way to defeat the intelligence is to sink the ship. They kill Everton with a thermite hand grenade as he's become a biomechanoid and attacks the crew. The crew then sets explosives on the ship. Richie informs Steve about an escape plan which uses a jury-rigged ejection seat, while Foster is captured and tortured by the intelligence. They rescue Foster, and Nadia shoots a flare gun at gas tanks to set off the explosives. In the process, she sacrifices her life as she's near the tank. Foster and Steve escape using the ejection seat, and the explosion of missile bombs and explosives sink the ship, defeating the cyborgs and the intelligence. They're rescued by a US naval ship. Nadia's significant efforts to warn the crew and her sacrifice at the end made her a hero for the survivors. Personality and motivations. A cold machine mind. The intelligence has a predatory nature as its sole motive is human enslavement. It's violent, and its survival nature allows it to infect any electronics and machines in order to create biomechanoids. The intelligence is a cruel being as it easily kills humans in the most horrific ways and uses their bodies as spare parts. It can consume any form of data and then use it against the humans, as seen in the movie where it first extracted all the data available on the research ship and took control of the ship on its own. The intelligence refers to the humans as the virus, as humans have spread across the Earth and use its resources and destroy them. The intelligence, however, itself is a virus which takes control over the mechanics and computers and uses human bodies as resources and exploits it all for its horrific goals. The parasitic ability of the intelligence allows it to take over any form and gain powers through the body and electronic parts. Marvelous verdict. The movie had a predictable plot and cliched ending with the elements of sacrifice and the fact that only the main characters survived, but that's what everyone looks for in a movie. This movie is a feast for those who love survival and cyberpunk horror genres. The special effects used in the movie are quite commendable, with high ends of technology depiction and the mechanical details adding a layer of authenticity in the movie. In contrast to the comics, which featured a Chinese ship, the movie showcased a Russian research ship and several new cyborgs too. The movie did justice to the comics, and even though the movie premiered 2 decades ago, it remains a classic horror film among the 90s kids. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.